G'day guys, hope you had a good weekend. As the sort of sun is just beaming through those blinds there, I'm glowing. That's a band called Comets, not The Comets, just Comets. They're a Melbourne band, 6-piece, instrumental, psych, instrumental band, jam band, long songs, like really long songs. And I went to see them on Friday night. That's probably the third time I've seen them now. Probably my favourite band in Melbourne at the moment. Got a couple of albums out if you want to check them out on Spotify. And I went to see them at the Cactus Room in Thornbury on Friday evening. I wasn't going to go. It's a prick of a joint to get to if you're from the West. This is when I feel like, because I like music so much, living closer to the city. I've got a mate who lives in Travancore, and I am envious of him that he's only, hop, skip and a jump from most of these venues. But I made the effort, and they were superb. They were superb, and I had a huge night. There were 3 bands playing, and yeah, I did overindulge, but you have to overindulge when you listen to that type of music. So I was an unwell man on Saturday, particularly early, and but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then Sunday, the Western Jets had a really good win against the Quarter Cannons in Williamstown, their second win for the season. They came from behind, they were down at half time, and then overran the Cannons, which was great. Really enjoyed that. And nestled in between, obviously, was what transpired on Saturday. And I did, under duress, make my way to the G. I have received a number of messages, direct messages, etc., regarding the club and where we're at and the outrage and when am I going to do my review and when's it happening. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say to appease anyone. And I'm certainly not going to flip my lid because I've seen it coming. It's not new for me. I clocked out a while back with this group, with this club. But as I stated in the preview of this game, I was still wanting to suck the marrow out of the year. And we're still at 9 games to go. And I'm fully invested in watching us with not a lot of passion. To be perfectly honest, I don't know whether it bothers me. I certainly didn't leave the G on Saturday disappointed or upset or surprised. And I don't want it to be that way. Like I want to be in a situation where I'm going to the football and just feeling super nervous and anxious about us. I think there's no better feeling, than when you are a supporter and you are feeling anxious and nervous about the team. But there is outrage now. There's so much outrage for supporters. It feels like the whole Carlton community of supporters, the 100,000 members, which was announced during the week, and the club beating their chest about that. And it was the blue collar North Melbourne Football Club that's probably got about 3,000 members who did the number on us, which was good. I was actually genuinely pleased for them. But I don't understand the outrage. I don't understand it. I don't understand people. They're in disbelief. Like when I left the G, when I left the G on Saturday, there was a guy just out the front of gate 3, just in the grassed area there, behind a donut van with his dad. He would have been in his 20s, and I could hear him as I walked past. He was saying, I'm just in complete disbelief. I'm in disbelief. Like, if I had time, if I could have been fucked, I was going to actually stop and have a chat to him and just sort of say, mate, what are you in disbelief about? Haven't you seen this coming? Like, what have you been watching? What have you been watching? What have you been watching? What did you think was going to change? Like, what did you think was going to change? You're fucking Stevie Wonder. You're blind, man. Like, you're blind. So I don't understand the sudden outrage. Like, and I'm not feeling any sympathy for supporters. Like, if that isolates me, I couldn't give a fuck. I could not give a fuck. I really couldn't. Because one thing I haven't done on this channel in 6.5, 7 years, however long I've been doing this for, I've never gone on here and said, don't be positive. Don't be a positive supporter. Don't be. I don't want you being positive about the club. I don't want you to not have belief. I've never said that. All I've done is ever just stated my opinion about the club. And if that comes across as being negative and cynical, and so be it. And I don't want to sit here and say I've been justified. That's not about it either, because I would fucking love nothing more than the club to turn it around, because I want to feel alive going to the football. I want to feel alive. But I've never said that. I've never said don't be positive. But people jump on here all the time, and you're entitled to. Keep fucking doing it. People jump on here all the time and go, you're too negative, you're too negative. Oh, here he is, he's too negative. And I dare say it's those who saying that to me constantly are the ones who are now in total disbelief. Total disbelief. So what about if I said to you, you're too fucking positive? Like, you're too fucking positive. I never say that. Like, be as positive as you like, but don't fucking now, after round 15, and you're suddenly up in arms. You got yourself to fucking blame because you didn't open your eyes. You didn't open your eyes. So where does it leave us? Where does it leave us? I don't know. Like, it's funny, isn't it? You got one, it almost feels like there's one person who holds the key to everything, that is Graham Wright. That's the consensus. But where do you start? Like, where do you start? You know, everyone now is, and rightly so, everyone's coming for the coach. But this, what is being coughed up, this is a reflection on the whole club, like the whole club. Not just the coaches, players. This is from the top to the bottom. This is just a reflection. And I don't give a fuck about 100,000 members. I don't care about that. I don't care about the 100,000 members. And yeah, for sure, the way we are playing, the method in which we are playing, now the kind of attitude, which has been there for the most part, like the period in games where there is just complete drop-off, like complete drop-off. Almost to the point of like being a team in its infancy, you know, when you get those young teams that might start a game well and then drop off, or have periods in the game where they just are off, you know, but then they fight back into it or whatever. But these periods in games where there's just complete drop-off, out-muscled, out-bullied, outworked, and the lack of real care, And it's there to see. Like it's we're not making it up. It's there for us to see. That's got to be on. It's got to be on the. It's a reflection of the coaches and the way this group's being coached. It has to be. It has to be a reflection on the coach. And you can see the frustration at three-quarter time. They're not doing, or they're capable of doing what he asks. I mean, he's having a crack at them. He's having a crack at them about their work rate, and not playing their role. And that playing your roles are about concentration. It's about concentration and staying in the game. It's about leaders stepping up and taking control. It's about everything of that. But he hasn't been able to get this group to do it consistently enough. And now we're seeing these complete drop-offs. And we saw this against North Melbourne on the weekend. We saw every bit of what this team is under Michael Voss. I mean, I wasn't wooed by the first quarter. I mean, we were in front. But I felt like that first quarter was probably more us than anything else. It was a little bit ugly. It was inefficient. There was some comical moments. There wasn't a hell of a lot of system. But we were in front. I said to my son at quarter time, I said, this is like, at quarter time, what was the score? 2 goals 6 to 1 goal 3. It felt like, I said, this is like two pretty ordinary football teams going head to head here. There's two very ordinary football teams going head to head here. And then we saw North Melbourne just crank it up. Around the ball, they cranked it up. They took it up a notch, just like Essendon did, just like the Eagles did, just like the better teams have been able to do to us this year, and we just fucking folded. And when you fold, you look apathetic, you look lazy, you look slow, you look disinterested. There's no care. Outworked. The skill level. The inability to be brave and to be bold. And it is laughable. It's not something you'd sit there and do. It's just laughable. And then you get this bizarre situation, like this really bizarre situation where the coach goes out and gives them a fucking blast, and then suddenly in the last quarter, you're 46 points down. You keep 5 goals. I don't know what happened to North Melbourne. But obviously we found some energy. So it's not about fitness. It's about attitude. It's about fucking attitude. With an sort of experienced team. Like, it's about attitude. And then you get this extraordinarily this is probably the funniest thing for me. You players celebrating goals like we've just won the fucking grand final. We're never winning that game. Like, never winning it. Like, and we were celebrating like there was no tomorrow. And it was kind of bizarre. We'll see whether anything in that last quarter can go into Thursday night's game against Port Adelaide. We'll see. But surely that's attitude. Like, surely to be able to respond kind of like that after what was dished up in quarter 2 and 3, which has happened before this year, and then to produce that in the last quarter, and it wasn't mind-blowing. Like, it wasn't mind-blowing. There was 1 second there that I thought we were going to win that game. It was kind of messy again. It was a bit comical. But the celebrations, like, fuck. And as much as Voss has gone in with the best intentions. This is a reflection. It has to be a reflection on the coaches, the way we play, and the attitude drop off. But the thing is, this core group have got history, man. They've got history. When it gets tough, they don't want to fight. It's strange. They don't want to fight. I remember the Collingwood. So Voss goes, like, if I don't know what's going to happen, but this group needs to be split up. I'm not excited if they decided to change coach and this core group, remain together. I'm just like, I'm just not. I'm kind of done with this core group together. I'm just done with them together. Back in the sort of mid-2000s, when Collingwood were coming through and they won that 2010 premiership, remember the Rat Pack? Heath Shaw, Alan Didak, Daisy Thomas, Ben Johnson. There's a whole group of them. They all fucking played it hard off the field. But they were super tough competitors. But in the end, they ran their race and they needed to be split up. But they got the ultimate success, you know. They got the ultimate success because they were just fucking extroverts, and they were. This isn't a rat pack. This is a sook pack. A sook pack. Miserable sook pack. Meek. Wet behind the ears. Needed to be yelled at. Needed to be screamed at. Did you see them there just standing there just like, And no one can tell me that this is a good list at the moment. No one. But there was no fight in that game until it was all over. There was no fight in this game until it was all over. So something is drastically wrong with the attitude of this group and this football club. And it's a reflection, it has to be a reflection on the club as a whole, but on the coach. Because he's been here for 4 years. And for this consistently to happen, and the amount of times we just forgive, make excuses, got some injuries, we ran out of steam, 2023, we ran out of steam, 5 goals up, we ran out of steam. 60 points down, elimination final without kicking a goal. Injuries, got selection wrong. We'll wait. Let's wait until round 6. It's just... Have a look. Have a look at it. Seriously? Have a look at this team. North Melbourne ran rings around us. Nick Haynes is nearly 34. Like, he's been a solid contributor coming across from the Giants, but couldn't get a game for GWS. Could not get a game. Could not get a sniff over the last 12 months or so. I know people out there love Alex Chincotta, and probably for good reason, man. Probably for good reason. He seems like a really solid citizen. But what the fuck was he doing on the weekend? What was he doing tagging Caleb Daniel? Such a defensive role. Just following him around like a lost puppy dog. And then North were just working around that, like working through him with other players, like McKercher. So they put him forward, but then he was just like tagging his own shadow. Wiedering, to his credit, came back on and did a number on Nick Larkey, but the attitude of that back half when things aren't going well, the finger pointing, the lack of direction, the lack of leadership. You got to love the energy of Ollie Hollands. At least he gives us a run, but the kid can't kick. He can't kick. And if we talk about wanting to play more proactive football, raw run and gun, you need your distributors to be able to use the ball, whether it's him or fucking Jackson Binns. The Apple turnovers. How many times have we seen this game, the ball turned over by those players? Get the ball into their hands. Oh, this looks okay. Bang. Turnover. Scrub kick along the ground. Lack of penetration. Jack Silvani had his worst game for the season. Looked like he'd had gastro. Okay, slow. Slow to get moving, slow with ball in hand. Wasn't brave with the ball. Adam Sard, who knows if it's coaching, or who knows if the end is coming very, very quickly for Adam Sard. This is 2 years in a row. This is worse than last year, and last year wasn't even top 10 in the best and fairest. This is a bloke who was All-Australian in 2023. And he's just a shadow of who he was, and he's coming up to 31 years of age. Doherty should be just put out. He's had 29 touches, all well and good. Keeps fumbling. He's gone. He's gone. Would not get a sniff at any other club in the competition. Same with Blake Acres. The fall off of Blake Acres is incredible, and I acknowledge maybe it's partly to do with his body, but he's fumbly, he's messy. I don't know where Crip is at. Just don't know where he's at. He's gone back to being quite selfish and trying to do too much. He's not predictable to his teammates. And he's certainly not fighting the fight. Durden's not AFL quality. And if anyone thinks he is, you got fucking rocks in your head. Mitch McGovern is just a wasted talent, and I reckon that's all on him. So he gets to this point in his career, and he was quite good on the weekend, was probably our best player, but you get to this, have that much talent, have that much raw talent to get to this point in your career and still be super inconsistent. Mentioned Binns, not AFL quality at the moment, and I don't know if he ever will be, but he's still relatively young. But can't use the ball. Can't use the ball as a winger. Just can't. Kerno's just... I mean, how long does this want to go on for? How long can these players be out of form for? Like, how long? How long can they be out of form for before you start to just question what the fuck is going on? And sure, we don't make it easy for Charlie Curnow, but by God, he's supposed to be one of the most super talented players in the competition, and he's been held goalless by Toby Pink, who played tremendously well. Tremendously well. Fogarty's not up to it. He's a serviceable footballer, tries his hardest. He's just not skillful enough. And don't get me started on Mark Pitnet and Tom DeConning in the team together. As soon as I saw that selection, as soon as I saw it, I thought safety, pathetic safety. To think, and I said it in my preview, and this isn't about me because I wanted Harry Lemmy in the team. I said I wanted Harry Lemmy in the team because he's a natural forward. And that's what we were playing Hudson O'Keefe as. We were playing Hudson O'Keefe as a forward who could go and pinch it in the ruck. And admittedly, Hudson O'Keefe's probably a better ruckman than Harry Lemmy. But all Hudson O'Keefe was doing was going into the ruck for 5 minutes. And then it was TDK all by himself. And Harry Lemmy is a natural lead-up forward who's been in reasonable nick in the VFL and could have come into this team to give us some structure. And who knows, having a lead-up forward who wants to lead very, very hard to the ball carrier might have forced our players to lower their eyes. But no, we went with Mark Pitnet. and Tom De Koning. You know why? Because they were afraid of Tom De Koning being bullied by Tristan Cherry. So this is a bloke who's been offered 1.6, 1.7 million a year, and we're willing to keep him for probably over $1 million a year. So we'll probably be one of the most expensive ruckmen in the competition, even if he stays with us. But we want to protect him. We want to protect him, and he's not a forward. He's not a forward's bootlace, Tom De Koning. He can ruck a whole game with 5 minutes rest here and there. But we went with a conservative double team on Tristan Cherry, which didn't matter anyway. Like, it didn't matter when we played them back on Good Friday. We still won the contest. But we were protected, and this is a bloke we want to keep at the football club, or reportedly want to keep, but we want to protect him. Against what? What message are we sending? He should have been told, no, you're playing 90% of the ruck, and we're going to play Harry Lemon, and he'll give you a chop out. And then we get at least a forward who knows what he's doing. But instead we chuck the Conning forward. Now I even saw fucking Mark Pitnet in the forward line. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, Mark Pitnet in the forward line. Chera and Hewitt, good solid citizens. Good solid B-grade footballers. B-grade midfielders who you need. So I'm not going to knock them, but they're not damaging. They're prolific. They can find the ball. They're quite good at what they do. And then, like, Matthew Carroll, he's been preferred over Jordan Boyd. Where's that leave Jordan Boyd? Now, I'm not saying Jordan Boyd could come in. Like, I'm not saying that because obviously they've got their reasons for Jordan Boyd running around in the VFL. But he's contracted for next year. Jordan Boyd is contracted for next year, and you've got a first-year player who spent all of last year with a chronic hip condition, is now getting all this time, who's clearly not ready. Now, I don't think Matthew Carroll is all that bad. Like, it's not that he's all that bad. It's not like he's all at sea. But no one can tell me he's ready to be in a team that wants to contend. Like, this is a team that's supposed to be like what people are thinking it's better than what it is. Same with Cooper Lord. In time, Cooper Lord could be a good inside midfielder, and he's been asked to play on a wing. This team's not ready. Same with Orazio Fantasia. And you can throw Zach Williams into the same bracket as Mitch McGovern. Highly paid recruits that have come to your football club who you just don't know what you're going to get. You just don't know what you're going to get from week to week. And they should be A-graders. Like, they should be, when you really think about it, they should be driving this club forward, but they don't. And maybe this is a reflection on the way they've been coached. I don't know that. I just don't know that, guys. I don't. All I know is this is not it. So when I go to the football now, I'm not surprised. But what I won't tolerate is the stinking attitude, the drop-off. That's on the coaches and the players. That's on this coaching group and the players, that can be acceptable. And if we don't see fucking change this week against Port Adelaide on Thursday night, and I mean multiple fucking changes, then he's doomed. He's doomed because he's shown far too much faith in these fuckers who keep letting him down. Far too much faith in these fuckers who keep letting him down. And I've forgotten Motlop as well, who started as a sub. He shouldn't have been even in the team after his performance against the Eagles the week before, and his performance for most of the year. Anyway, take care. I'm not quite sure. I'll do the votes probably tomorrow, guys. I'm not quite sure if I'll do a preview for the Port game, given that it's a Thursday night game. And yeah, let's see what happens. Take care.